So we've all been lied to since birth. Attacks are happening not only physically to us, but they're also happening spiritually. So we're fighting on many levels. I know for me, I've been targeted since birth. Now that I am aware of what's fully happened to me in my life, and the targeting, the gang stalking has been heavily for the last over 10 years, probably more like, I would say 15 years, but putting the pieces together of my life, I realized that I've been targeted since birth. And now learning how the government has been set up and the games that have been played to me since I've been a child, I'm able to put all the pieces together and everything's starting to make sense. So I do declare that I am an American state national. I am no longer part of their game. And I highly recommend that you look at your birth certificate and change your political status. There's ways to set yourself free. Let's see. I had it here. Where was it? Sorry, I'm not that great with technology, so work with me the old-fashioned way. So basically, let's see here. Most of us were misidentified as British territorial US citizens shortly after we were born, and British territorial citizens are not protected by our public law, though they are protected by international law prohibiting the activities that have been promoted by the British territorial government on our shores. Specifically, they are violating the United Nations Covenant Against Transnational Organized Crime and the Palermo Protocols by preying upon new mothers and coercing them to, without, full disclosure, they're signing their babies over as wards of foreign state and state corporations. So trafficking in persons shall mean the recruitment, transportation, transfer, harboring, or receipt of persons by means of the use of threat, of force, or other forms of coercion, of abduction, of fraud, deception, abuse of power, or of position of vulnerability, or of giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the consent of a person having control over another person for the purpose of exploitation. And exploitation shall include at a minimum the exploitation of the prostitution of others or other forms of sexual exploitation, forced labor of services, slavery, or practices similar to slavery, servitude, or the removal of organs. So I did not understand. A lot of people, when I was doing research online, they were talking about, oh, you're on a terrorist watch list. You're on a list and you can't get your name off of it. Well, I don't believe that. And that's another thing that really needs to take place is belief, because you have control over your own life. You can get out of this torture system. So belief is actually the number one priority. Believing in yourself as a spirit, as a human being. Having a strong connection with God, scripture, prayer, having gratitude, fasting. And on the physical reality, physical realm is changing your political status. Looking at your birth certificate, most likely you were born into this system because you're not considered a terrorist. You're considered an employee or a slave, and you have zero rights under the Constitution. So there is no right to there is no pursuit of happiness and the right to live in freedom and peace when you're born into this system. So it's really hard being targeted, but we need to come together. And I know for me, I was extremely confused for many, many years. I thought it was my ex. I thought it was a bunch of narcissists. And yes, it is narcissistic people that are involved. And the people that are willingly taking part in this massive crime against humanity, the people who are taking payments and willing to work for this evil crime, they've basically sold their soul over to Satan. That's what happened. They sold their soul, and eventually Satan is going to turn on them if it hasn't already. So we need to remember that fallen angels are amongst us, that they're here, and they're the ones that are actually running this show, running this game. They are pretending to be humans, taking these roles of famous people or people with power and money, because that's really all they care about, is being idolized, wanting to be gods, caring so much about what's here physically, wealth, power, greed. It's all of the desires that Satan wants and thrives off of. So, try not to let lower vibrational frequencies take a hold of you. And I know it's hard. For me, when I was living in fear and anxiety and living really in survival mode, I was angry at God. I didn't believe there was a God. I felt like if there was a God, why would I be living my life like this? I lost my connection. But that's what they want. They want you to lose your connection. They want you to self-medicate, because when you're self-medicating, you're losing your connection with your spirit. And your connection, excuse me, your connection with your spirit is what is connected to God, our creator, the divine. I don't know, my throat is so scratchy. I've tried to make this video several times and I kept losing my train of thought. Now I'm coughing. So there's so much technology that is advanced, that is out, that is a part of this game that most of the public doesn't want to recognize. One of them is mind control. There's patents out there that basically can read thoughts, remote neural monitoring, and they can also inject thoughts, subliminal thoughts into your mind, or read your emotions, or try to give you emotions, depression, anxiety, fear. So it's really practicing discernment, really trying to recognize where your thoughts are coming from. Are they your thoughts? And even when they do arise, don't even believe all your thoughts. You know, be the observer, be the watcher. It's a practice, and it's something that needs to be worked at. And it's something that I try to work at all the time. So, yeah, there is a way out. Don't give up hope. So we need to stay connected as spirits, full of love and full of light, and try not to send hateful, angry energy outward to others, meaning the people that are targeting you, the people who have hurt you, the stalkers, the people that are running these big fucking computers wherever the hell they are. And you know, these data centers that are wanting to go up, that's what this is all about. We can't send the energy that they're giving us out to them, because it's just feeding more. It's just feeding more into the system. We need to send love out into the universe, send love out to our enemies because they need it the most. They really do. And I know it's hard. I mean, some days I'm just really cursing these MFers, but it's like, no, I'm not. That's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. So remember, there's lots of things that you can do on multiple levels to end this. There's things you can do spiritually, energetically, and in the physical realm. And please, I highly encourage you to change your political status. The government's a corporation. It's backwards. Claim your right, claim your birthright, and become an American state national or an American state citizen. All the other labels that were put on you is a corporation, and you're a slave and you're an employee, and that's why you have no rights. So thanks for listening, and I send peace and love out to everyone, and stay strong, and we're going to get through this.